Hey guys, welcome to 4 Up Gaming. We're back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a little while.
A few weeks.
So, even though we're back, we've got a couple of old armies that we're playing. I shouldn't say old, but armies that we've been playing for a little while.
The Elves and Dwarfs.
The Elves and the Dwarves, the old battle, back again. We're playing the loot scenario. And I know you guys probably thought, oh, they've been gone for a month. They probably got stuff built and painted and changed it up.
No, we just didn't.
We haven't.
Took a break.
We've been busy.
Yeah.
Busy with life and work and everything else. So we're going to try and get out a bat rep and maybe even a podcast here soon. And then we have some interesting stuff coming up. So
Yeah. Thinking about some different ideas, different gameplay.
trying to change it up for you guys so that we keep things fresh for you. So we may try and do some things different. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. We have a 2,000 point game, and it should be pretty fun. We're going to go ahead and show you guys how we deployed and where the counters are. So. All right, first up we have Tom's Dwarves.
Dwarves again.
So what have you got, Tom?
Got some Brock Riders.
Okay.
Over on the flank. Really not a big plan with my setup. Kind of just all over the place. We'll see how it works. Bulwarkers here in the woods.
Okay.
Over here, got Riflemen.
Okay.
Basic stuff. Severe Eagle Axe. I like him.
Oh,
He's been in my list a few times.
I hate him.
I think he's pretty good for a dwarf. He's got some speed. He's got some good combat. Pretty good attacks. 10 attacks for a character, which is fairly good. Over here, Ironclad. 2 units of Berserkers. Brock Riders over here on the other flank with some Shieldbreakers.
Shieldbreakers. Coming up there in the rear.
Double flank, hold the center. Not sure what I'm going for.
Yeah, you got
He kind of just countered his deployment. So that's all it really was.
We got one loot counter over here on the edge.
Yeah.
Got another loot counter there in the middle. And then we've got one like 14 inches or something away on a hill.
13. It wasn't much.
Yeah.
It was like right there at the line.
Looks like we have some blocking terrain over there. We have a forest over here.
Little hill 1.
Blocking, yeah. Hill height 1, an obstacle.
Little obstacle.
Blocking terrain, hill height 2.
Yeah.
And another forest. So we'll go
Good
ahead.
amount of terrain.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Kind of spaced out.
We're using our new randomization tool, which is pretty much picking a quadrant and then rolling dice.
Yeah.
So,
And then just taking a piece of terrain and slapping it in there.
which is a lot easier than the way that I was doing it, right? So I'll go ahead and show you guys what we have for the elves. All right, so for the elves, I have 2 units of Stormwind Cav on the edge here. One unit has the Diadem of the Dragonkind. The other unit has Pathfinder. Got a horde of archers here in the middle with Brew of Kenai. On the other side of the building here, I have an Elven Mage and the Green Lady, kind of hiding.
Can't see them, but
Yeah.
they're back there.
Can't see them. I have 2 units of Forest Shamblers, and then behind them I have a unit of Tall Spears. 1 unit of Forest Shamblers, I believe it's this one, has the Warbow of Kaba. Then the Tall Spears have Brew of Sharpness. Got my Hunters of the Wild hiding out over here in the forest. They have Blessing of the Gods, and then I have Argus Rodinar behind that, or kind of behind the forest, and he's going to hang out there and try and give some inspiring.
So we got the same setup.
Yeah.
Flank, 2 flank.
Yep, we've almost set our armies up and we mirrored them, so
Yep.
it's just going to come down to who gets the best, combos with hitting stuff and who has the best flanks. Hey guys, it's good to be back. I know we've been gone for a while. We haven't put a bat rep out for gosh, it's been maybe a month or more. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of stuff going on in our private lives, so life gets busy, and so it's good to be back. And it was good to get a game in with Tom. Unfortunately, as you guys can see, we haven't gotten a whole lot of progress done in our armies just because we've been busy with other things. But we do have some exciting things coming up. We're keeping kind of hush-hush about it right now, but we'll have some stuff coming out here soon that kind of talks about what we got going on. But we're trying to keep you guys, interested in of course, our bat reps and gaming in general. So we're trying to further, the Kings of War game and system and the whole just world and everything else around it and storylines. So we should have some new and exciting stuff coming up. As for this game, it was a good game to kind of get back in the swing of things. This is the loot scenario. So for me, I think loot scenario is hard because, especially against the dwarves, because my units are faster than his. So I'm thinking, I can go over there, I can grab those loot counters, and then I can get back safely. Yeah, that not a good strategy to have. As you can see, I vanguarded my forest shamblers, held my hunters of the wild back. I kind of lessened that flank a little bit, which I shouldn't have. He really pulled that flank well with putting those berserkers, the Brock Riders over there and another unit of dwarves. And I started this game off by seeing the loot counters and just being like a dog chasing a car. I didn't know what I was going to do once I got them, but I was going to get them. So that's kind of how I set the pace for the game. All right, turn 1 and Vanguard moves, I guess, for the elves. Yeah, my cav moved up a little bit. Just kind of trying to get the range
speed going.
Yeah, trying to get the range game. They're kind of deciding what they want to do right now. My archers moved up and they got Bane chanted and they shot at your rifleman. Did a couple wounds.
That was pretty good.
Not bad.
Already moved. Shooting through an obstacle.
Shooting through. It's minus here, minus there.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So moved up this side and pushing the middle here. Right now it seems like a good idea, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. You have like most of your army right there in the middle too. So I vanguarded the forest shamblers up, which is awesome because in a vanguard move you can move the full 12, whereas every other time, unless you're charging, you can't, which is awesome.
Yeah,
thank God.
That's nice.
But now I've got to turn around and book it before they either get shot, charged, or something else with that loot counter. So kind of interesting. Got the loot counter there in the middle. The tall spears are there to support them, and the green lady is there to support whoever else needs it. Over here on the corner here, my Hunters of the Wild moved up into the forest a little bit, but I'm a little worried about those Brock Riders there. So I'm wanting to support my army, but I don't want to stick myself too far out.
Yeah.
Because if you kill them, you've got the flank, and I can't let that happen. I've got to at least try and defend my flank a little bit. So we will go to Dwarves turn 1. So the Dwarves turn 1, pretty standard, I guess, movement. What I figured that Tom was going to do. He has those riflemen there in the middle, and even though there's an obstacle in the way, I moved stuff, I guess, out of cover, which was dumb, and so he was able to shoot at my forest shamblers with the riflemen. I was thinking, oh, I'll be good. I've got the green lady over there. I can heal them. I'm not too worried about it. I wasn't expecting him to do as well as he did and for me to fail miserably. Again, I didn't place her for some reason. I think I was just out of range if I would have moved her over her 10-inch move to be able to use magic. So I think that's why I left her out of range of inspiring. That, and then I also was thinking about old Warhammer Fantasy where inspiring was 12 inches instead of 6, and forgot. It's the downside to not playing a game in a month is that you kind of forget stuff sometimes. So I was thinking on this right flank here, I've got 2 units, got 2 cav units, got 2 fast units against 1 cav, 1 slow unit. I was feeling pretty confident. The problem, though, again, is that I was too focused on the objectives, too focused on the loot counters, and not focused enough on how was I going to deal with his units. My unit of archers in the middle there, they were just going to hold down those riflemen as best they could. So, it was an interesting scenario to say the least. Looking back on it, I could have deployed a little differently, and I could have just played the game differently, and I didn't do either one. So what I should have done is actually moved up the middle there. As you see, there's a little break in between the forest and his riflemen, and I should have actually moved my cav up there and blocked 1 cav unit and moved the other cav up there and kind of gotten behind his line and made him rethink things and move around a little bit. And you got to break up that dwarf line, and I didn't do that. I was too focused on the objectives and not focused enough on breaking up his dwarf line, because no matter what you think in loot, if you're thinking I'm going against a slow moving army, I can run up, grab the objective, and I'm good. It's not the case. Even a slow moving army can get to you. So you've got to be prepared for that. The dwarves don't have very fast movement, but once you pick up a loot counter, your movement drops to 5, and you cannot march or anything like that. I mean, it's pretty much speed 5, and you're hoofing it. You're not flying. You can't do anything else. So just remember that when you're playing loot. All right. Well, the dwarves got the shoot, and
yeah. So I
that hurt.
Kind of moved up. I got 2 cav versus a cav and a unit, so can't really push too hard into it. Kind of want to hold the. He's got Caterpillar, so he should be all right there. But I just can't rush out there and take double charge.
Yeah.
Over here, the Riflemen, players of the game so far.
Just mowed down the Forest Shamblers.
4 Shamblers.
8 wounds. And then
he rolled like an 11.
Yeah, an 11 was rolled on the nerve.
What'd you nerf?
Fearless 17, so I need anything under a 9.
That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, decent roll.
Should have been right there.
Decent roll, and then
had the green lady.
My dumb fault. I for some reason was thinking 12-inch inspiring instead of 6, and I don't know why I was thinking that. So she's out of range easily. Yeah, it is, and that's what it is. The old Warhammer leadership.
Still comes back to mind. We played for years.
Every once in a while, because the other unit that has the loot counter, I gave them inspiring from Argus. And you shot the other one. I didn't see that coming, but good play. I did not see that coming.
Just kind of stay here. I moved the Slayers up, or the Berserkers up slightly.
Yeah, Brock Riders got moved up around the corner there.
Riders coming around the flank.
Getting the flank, yeah.
Buying some time for the old, there they are. Shield Breakers.
Shield Breakers, yeah. We're just forgetting shit left and right.
Yeah.
So
we haven't played in 5 weeks.
Yeah. It's been it's been almost 2 months. So
yeah, it might have been 2 months.
Month and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been a little while. All right. Well, we are going to go to Elves turn 2. So you can't ever plan for really bad routing rolls. Unfortunately, I figured that my 4 Shamblers could survive 1 round of shooting, but he needed to roll a 9 pretty much. A 9 needed to be rolled for the nerve, and an 11 was rolled. It happens. I mean, you can't ever plan for that, but it happens. Unfortunately, I could have positioned my units better to give inspiring, and maybe that would have lessened that. That was my fault. Bad tactical error. I feel bad for Tom because I was kind of playing. I felt like I was playing like an amateur. I was playing this more like, okay, unit in front of me. How am I going to take that unit out with the unit that I have? And when you're playing an army that is so gross in combat and so strong like the dwarves, you can't do that. You have to remember that there's 3 phases to the game, and you have to use all 3 phases. You have to use your movement. You've got to move things well. You've got to shoot the right targets well, and then you can attack. You don't necessarily have to go, I've got 1 unit here, I'm going to attack this unit. I've got 1 unit here, I'm going to attack this unit. Or I've got 2 units, let's attack 1. Sometimes it's about positioning. Sometimes it's about, you know what, I don't have to attack this unit to beat it. I'm faster than it, I can go around this unit, and then get a flank. Or I can reposition, make him reposition his line, make him change up his tactic, slow him down, make him not focus on the loot counters as much. These are things you have to think about when you're playing a game, especially against an army like the dwarves that are so just, they're here, this is what they do, and you have to beat them. And the elves, I think, sometimes need a little bit more finesse. And unfortunately, I didn't do that. I got really basic with my tactics, and because of that, I was outplayed. All right.
The elves getting angry.
Yeah, getting mad.
12 wounds. That was
12 wounds, man. I charged in here. 16.
16 and 12
16
wounds.
attacks, 12 wounds. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. I know a lot of people, I've seen online, a lot of people are actually giving them roof sharpness.
Oh, it's so gross.
For 16 attacks, personally, I don't think it's worth it.
Overkill.
But that's me.
Because you need 3s. Roof sharpness to be auto hit.
Yeah, it is.
But, I mean,
you're rolling 1s and re-roll the 1s again. I mean, it's nice, but it's only 16 attacks.
Yeah.
Now, if you could do that with something that was, say,
16
30
attacks, you got 12 wounds without it.
Without it.
What's the most
exactly.
you get is 16 wounds.
Yeah.
So an extra 4 wounds for 45 points.
It's not going to...
That's better on some other unit.
Yeah, and you figure it makes a unit of cav 260 something. I don't know. I'm not a math major, so anyway. So I shot with the Diadem of Dragonkind. What? 6 wounds?
6 wounds.
6 wounds with a 10
breath weapon.
Breath weapon 10 from here to the Bulwarkers.
5 defense, by the way.
Defense 5. Yeah, that was awesome.
6 wounds, 5 defense.
Rolled. Awesome for that.
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Average. Yeah.
But oh my god, that was actually pretty cool. Shot with the archers against the riflemen, did really good. Put another 8 wounds on them.
Yeah.
So got you up to 14, I think, right?
Yep.
23. And then 21-23, those just hard to roll. So yeah, so they were good. I think a 7 got rolled.
7.
So they were good.
Something.
Yeah. Either way, no, it ended up being. Yeah, it was a 7, but you're still good.
That's right.
7 and 14 is 21. Oh wait, because you're at 4. What are you at?
14.
14. Must have been a 6. All I know is it wasn't enough.
Whatever it wasn't enough.
Yeah, because if it was a set,
it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
that's like I said.
I think it was a 5 and a 1 was rolled, something like that. Anyway, they're good. They're good. So it was close, but not close enough. Sviri's still sitting there looking angry, though. He's looking pretty angry. I dropped the loot counter with the forest shamblers. I'm trying to lateral it back. Right. They moved to counter the Brock Riders because that's no fun for anyone. And then they're still out of range of that. They could still get shot, obviously, by the riflemen. It's probably what's going to happen. But I got the green lady behind them.
There you go.
Just going to help them hold it down. So that's going to suck. And over here, I moved my my Hunters of the Wild back a little bit. Just out of range of the Brock Riders, because the Brock Riders could, in fact, turn and charge here, and they were within range, and then that would have placed my Forest Shamblers completely out. You would have taken out the Hunters of the Wild and then been completely set up on this side.
It's kind of
so, yeah. I saw it, and that's why I adjusted for it. Good play, though. Anybody who is playing the game, he was setting up right here.
Double option.
Yeah, setting up a double option.
So you have two choices. If you didn't catch that one, then these guys, but he turned, he countered it pretty well.
Yeah. You got to be careful with the double options, which is a great thing about setting your lineup the way that Tom did, is that you leave your army with the flexibility of having a double option. Yeah. And I almost did not catch it.
Yeah, because
that would have been bad.
Here, I could have just punched through.
Yep.
If you would have moved these guys straight, I could have hit them in the flank.
Yeah, just bad.
Multiple options there.
Brock Riders are, and Cav in general is great for that if you play them right, and that's how to play them right. I just got lucky in that I caught that one, so I moved them back a little bit because I do not want to give you an easy out.
Yeah, because that would have been just me circling around, and he's got, what's he gonna do?
Nothing. I've got nothing.
Mission it and get
charged. Exactly. I've got
nothing there.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
It was a good catch.
So yeah. Pretty much we're at the status quo right now, so this turn is going to hurt. I have a feeling. So we'll go to turn 2 for the turn 2 for the dwarves. Yeah. So what Tom normally does in these types of scenarios, to be honest with you, is that he will completely ignore the objective. Don't think that obviously he deploys that way, but he will completely ignore the objective during the gameplay. Now, that's what he's doing right now. He is not focusing on these loot counters at all. He flanks my 1 unit of cav over here on the side, and I was like, cool, that sucks. He's going through the forest. He'll be, my dudes will be all right. And they would have been all right, but there were a lot of wounds put against them. So what he does is he decides to pretty much compartmentalize my army and pick it apart one section at a time. His riflemen do a great job of holding on. I shot them up pretty good, but they're still on the board, as riflemen do sometimes. And like I said, he's completely not even looking at these loot counters. He's just doing his own thing. He's going to take apart the army and then just stay there on the battlefield and pick up the loot counters. And he's also capitalizing on my play because I am totally focused on the loot counters. And as such, I'm leaving myself open. I'm leaving myself exposed, and tactically I'm lacking very much because I'm too focused on the loot counters. So the objectives are good. You're supposed to focus on them because that is the point of the game. However, you cannot focus on them to the point to where you forget your basic tactics, because if you cannot beat the person you're playing, it doesn't matter how many loot counters you have. If you have no units on the battlefield at the end of the game, you automatically lose. So you have to balance your tactics of, okay, how am I going to still beat my opponent? With, okay, I've got to focus on the objectives. They're there. I can't let somebody just grab them from me. You got to balance those tactics. There we go. All right. Are we only on turn 2?
Turn 2, bottom of 2.
Man. Oh, tell me what happened, even though I saw.
Yeah. So, double charge, flank over here with 60 attacks. They did fairly awful.
Yeah.
The Brock Riders, though, came in, did pretty good wounds.
Did really good.
Yeah.
Did 8 or 9.
Yeah, not bad.
By themselves.
Yeah.
And then off of 60 attacks, you only got 6 wounds.
6 wounds, that's right. Yeah.
But, it's more than enough against a unit of cav with no reroll.
Wiped them out.
Yep.
Spheri came in there.
Spheri did 8 wounds.
8 wounds. Through the obstacle, too. So,
yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, he'll be hindered, but he's crushing strength, not thunderous charge, right?
Both of them.
Well, the thunderous charge would have been gone, but I don't think it would have mattered. How much was the crushing strength? 1?
1.
Yeah, so I didn't see you roll a lot of 3s.
It was pretty
So
high.
it didn't matter. Yeah, so that definitely hurt.
Yep.
For
so
sure.
You did good. Hindered those guys so they can't be shooting back.
Yeah, disordered them, yeah.
You're going to have to charge back in.
They're going to charge back in.
Yeah.
They're going to charge back in. These archers are going to get a piece of Spheri. Because I hate that guy.
Over here, 9 wounds?
Yep, 9 wounds.
That was pretty good.
That was really good.
Down.
Yeah. I was hoping to. That's why I was hoping to get rid of them that turn. Because if you'd got, then I'm like, yes. Otherwise, now they've got free reign of most of the board. So.
And big whiff.
And then your epic whiff of the epic whiff of the turn. You only got 3 wounds on my Forest Shamblers, which isn't very good from Brock Riders with their Thunderous Charge
and vicious.
Only 3 wounds.
26
so,
attacks.
Needless to say, they're still alive there. Yeah. So it's it looks more bleak than it is, I think, for me. If that makes sense. So we'll go ahead and go to Elves turn 3. All right, I forgot to hit the record button, but so this turn is just a recap. Pretty much over here, my Stormwind Cav hit the Brock Riders.
Finally finished them off.
Luckily I got rid of them.
Yeah.
So my options over here, I took them out. I could have potentially gone forward, right? A little bit.
Yeah,
but I would have had to. Yeah, there's no way I would have cleared the arc.
They had such an arc.
Yeah. So pretty much for people that are
tried to run with it. The Brock Riders probably would have caught him. Eventually, probably back here.
Yeah. I mean, I can't play that game against your Brock Riders. I would have had to hit back. So, but then in hitting back after I killed them, I had an option of either pivoting and turning and facing your unit or trying to run past.
Yeah.
I would have had to.
Run past. There's no way.
I don't even think with a 6.
I think it was 6.
Yeah. It wouldn't have worked. So, I obviously turned and faced. You don't ever want to give somebody a flank unless you have to. So I turned and faced there. They're going to be charging out of a forest. So it's going to help me a little bit unless he has some amazing rolls, which could still happen. This is Tom, so you never know.
It's all cool workers.
Over here, a little beat down on Spheri. My dudes did 7 wounds. My archers, they're poking him in the eyes with their bows.
Little Bane Chant, little Elite.
Right, little Bane Chant, little Elite. It was actually pretty good for that unit, yeah. So then over here, took out your Brock Riders. I was kind of worried first. Then once my 50 attacks from the flank came in, I was okay. But the Forest Shamblers by themselves were
As I said, the Forest Shamblers did enough.
Yeah. Oh, you think so?
I think so.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to hear that they actually
the
did
flank
something.
could really do a lot. Could really.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about it, it was pretty much whiff. Even at 50 attacks,
50
man.
Attacks. The first rolls, there was like 3 wounds, something like that. It wasn't much.
So then I had the option over here of turning, and I could have protected my flank from the Berserkers. Well, not really protected it. I could have gotten a flank on the Berserkers, but then in turn I would have given my flank, or given even a frontal to the Ironclad, because I would have had to move these guys, would have had to have pivoted them, and then in order to get the flank, and it would have put them in range of the Ironclad. So you always got to look at those ranges like that. And this army, if Tom sees something, he's going to exploit it. He does it very well. Pivoted these guys just to take the charge from the shield breakers. That's going to be so gross. I mean, just unbelievably gross. My dudes here, I had a brain fart with the rules, so I ended up just backing up 2.5 inches. So
trying some janky stuff.
Trying some janky stuff.
Pull some moves.
Trying some Warhammer 40k janky shit. So or fantasy. No, not even fantasy. You couldn't do that. So just making up my own shit.
He was full of stuff.
I was just making up my own shit.
No, I don't think you can do that. You can't just like reform.
Yeah, and then march. Yeah, or reform. I was reforming and then trying to move 6, which you cannot reform any direction and move 6. It just doesn't work like that. And then I was able to heal 6 wounds,
that
which is pretty freaking good.
Yeah,
that's just a morale killer right there. Able to heal, I think 3 over here, or 2 over here, so that helped too. Use Murden's amulet thing.
That was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
that was a good combo.
That's and for 10 points.
Yeah,
it's
I like that.
It's a good combo for Magic. So we're gonna go ahead and go to turn. What are we on 3?
Bottom of 3.
Bottom of 3 for the dwarves.
Right along.
All right, so I'm going to tell you right now, even a horde coming through a forest, like what's going to happen on the right flank there, even though you think that's going to turn out good, it's not. Because, well, the downside to Cav is that they have a low leadership, or I'm sorry, a routing value, or at least lower than a horde. So the last thing you want to do is get into a grind, so to speak, with a horde. And unfortunately, that's what I set up for myself on the right flank there. If it would have been a horde against a horde, it would have been one thing. But he has his bulwarkers over there, which are defense 5. Yeah, my guys are also defense 5. But unfortunately, though, I am going to lose my Thunderous Charge. And so it's going to be defense 5 against defense 5. And we're just going to be grinding it out. And with that low route value, the chance that you are going to get wavered is higher. And so you can't do that. You cannot play the grind game, so to speak, with Cav against a horde. It's very difficult to do, and Stormwind Cav are not meant to do that. They're meant to hit the unit that they are hitting and go through them. They are not meant for a grind, especially against a Dwarf Horde, because for some reason Dwarf Hordes are very sticky. So, bad play on my part, good play for Tom. Tom also hit my archers with Spheri, who I will say right now, as most of you know, Spheri is a bastard. He is a great special character. I don't know why more people don't use him. He is awesome. Even going through the obstacle, so even hitting on a -1, no Thunderous, he still did a couple points of damage, and that's all you have to do against archers. You only have to do 1 point of damage in combat, and they're disordered. So my archers are pretty much sitting there like, what the hell, man? And they're not going to be able to do anything next turn, or at least not be able to shoot next turn. So bad play, or good play on his part. And actually, I'm trying to remember now. I actually don't think he attacked him this turn. I think he attacked him last turn. But he was still able to get away. So I don't think he actually attacked him. So I think I was actually able to shoot with him next turn. But he still put on some wounds and still messed him up for a turn. And took away pretty much essentially a turn of shooting by getting him in combat. So, and Spheri can take archers in combat. It doesn't really matter. He then turned though because, as we'll see later, he has a nice juicy flank that he can get on my units of tall spears that are over on their side of this bastion that's right in the way. Unfortunately, that wasn't a very good camera angle for me. But that side over there, that left side is just crumbling, and it is crumbling bad. And it comes down to the fact that I didn't support it properly with the with any unit that had any punch. The Hunters of the Wild are not, they're a good unit, but they are not going to hold a flank by themselves. And that was the only support unit that I had over there, and he had a lot stronger support units than I had. And the Forest Shamblers, unfortunately, I stuck them out there too far. They got shot down, they got beat up, and eventually they got beat by more than one unit. So very good play on Tom's part. Also very good rolling on his part too. He had some really great rolls throughout the game. And I mean, that when you have bad tactics, your opponent has great tactics, and the rolling is going really good for your opponent. Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much guess what's going to happen throughout the game. But, part of that I could control. Okay. Dwarf turn 3? God, this game.
Yeah, turn 3.
Wow, man.
Bottom of 3.
Wow. Where are we at? What do we got?
Bulwarkers going in through the forest. Did 4 wounds. Nope,
4 wounds. Wavered. I've rolled a 10 on the nerve. That's just... Oh, my God. Yeah. Rolling is not going good.
Rifleman shooting down there.
Little shooting. Little shooting there.
5 or 6, 7 wounds.
Pretty good. I like it.
I don't know how many there were there.
There was 3.
He killed a couple.
Yeah. There were more than 3. He did 4. I think he did 4 or 5 wounds.
4 or 5.
So got him up to 12. Yeah. But they survived.
Yeah.
Over here, awesome. 4 Shamblers survived.
Survived. Did 6 wounds or 9? No.
You did 6 wounds.
6 wounds.
Yeah, because they were at 3 already.
From Berserkers. A little troop of Berserkers.
Pretty good.
125 point unit, whatever.
Did not see this coming. I totally thought you were going to charge Berserkers in here to slow them down. But I guess it really wouldn't have slowed them down any.
No.
And I thought you were possibly going to shoot. Yeah, I thought you were going to shoot.
A little shot.
And
that too.
then you move Spheri. You move Spheri around the corner here.
Yeah, Spheri
to get a nice little flanky flank. Yeah. So, or kill the Green Lady, whichever.
Gotta kill her. I've never killed her.
Right? Gotta do something like that, yeah. So
shield breakers just did work. They always do.
Oh my God, we're not even gonna talk about that. Yeah, the Hunters of the Wild are like paper.
Yeah, they sliced them up.
It wasn't even a contest.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
shield
bad.
Breakers, I love them.
Yeah, it was bad. It needed in the same courage didn't happen over there. So
now they're coming around. I mean,
yeah,
what's he gonna do against them?
It's looking rough over here on this side of the board. So. And rough over there because I can't do anything. So now you're just going to have free reign on that side.
Take it on.
Yeah. I was hopeful over here, but now that hope is changing. So we'll see what happens. So we'll go to turn 4.
Turn 4.
So it's not looking too good for the old elves here. I've stretched myself a little too thin. My unit of cav is wavered, and that's just going to be bad all day long. I used Argus Rodenar to inspire my archers, which I don't know if it was a good decision or not. I think it was a little too late at this point. So I had a decision to make. My archers had way too many targets to choose from, and each target was important. I wanted to turn and shoot Spheri. I wanted to shoot the riflemen, and I also wanted to shoot the bulwarkers. And it was a tough call on which one to do. I think I decided just to shoot the riflemen, mostly out of spite, because I hate the riflemen, but also because I can kind of see the writing on the wall here. So it's death or glory time. It's time to take out as many as I can and just leave the battlefield as bloody as I can. So I finally take out those riflemen, which is good. Trying to set myself up for at least being able to hold one objective. Trying to save the game at this point. I was too aggressive in the beginning, and it really cost me bad. So at this point, like I said, I'm just trying to plug the leaks in this boat that is vastly sinking after hitting a dwarf iceberg. And of course, as the game gets good, the battery's starting to die. Yeah. So real quick, we'll do turn 4, and I think the next couple of turns we'll just have to turn the camera on just for the recaps, which will make the things a little bit shorter of the battery life. So over here, nothing. Because they're wavered.
Yeah.
Over here, they shot the rifleman.
Killed the rifleman.
Which was awesome. Killed the rifleman, that was good. Over here, wavered.
Yeah,
wavered. Double sixes. Oh, man, I needed that just to survive. And the Forest Shamblers took out your Berserkers. Barely. It was right on the money. So, whew, I needed that. Otherwise, this game would go really bad really quick. It's still not going to be good, but at least that kind of just held things off for a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and we'll do turn 5? Turn 4. Bottom of 4.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. Oh, man.
Quick recap. Battery's dying.
Yeah, battery's dying, so this is going to be kind of quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. So Spheri flanked my tall spears.
Yeah.
Has 20 attacks.
20 attacks. Flank. Yep.
Elite
Vicious.
Elite Vicious. Need 3s.
With Elite, so again, he's got the elf roll. 18
wounds. 18. They already had 3 wounds on him. I guess right at 21.
Right there.
Right there break.
Yep.
I had rerolls, but I had to reroll 1s if possible. Didn't do it. Yeah. So just awesome. I mean, awesome play. Tom did awesome. His unit of Ironclad got wavered, so I was like, sweet, my dude's gonna hold, you know.
You do 7 wounds, and I got 21, 23. What are all boxcars?
Yeah, he completely ran through my Shamblers, obviously. So all I have left on the board is a unit of archers.
And some wavered knights over here.
And some wavered knights. They got wavered again. The knights got wavered again.
They're just going to keep getting pounded by bulwarkers.
They got 7 wounds on them now.
It's getting close to break time.
Yeah, they're going to die. We got 2 more turns. They can't last 2 more turns. I needed to not get another waiver and actually be able to attack back.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you right now, I deserved to lose this game. The reason why I deserved to lose this game is I didn't make one specific tactical error. I made one big overall error with the game, and that was that I was like a dog chasing a car. I didn't know I was just gonna chase the car, and that's me trying to get the loot counters. Didn't know what I was gonna do once I got
home. He was too. Yeah.
Went after the loot counters, got them. Yes. And then it was like, uh-oh, now what? now I'm triple and quadruple teamed on stuff. So I got too aggressive, and I got too aggressive too early.
He was trying some I'm gonna run up, grab the loot counters, and bail back. Yeah. And he should have just. I was playing.
Think about.
I'm just gonna smash you. Yeah. I could care less about the loot counters. Yeah. I'm just gonna come at you and get some.
You got to think about your opponent. The dwarves are slow no matter what. Sometimes it works better to let your opponent run up and grab a loot counter because it does slow them down, and then it makes them more on the defensive. He didn't have to do that. He just marched at me and played his game, and that was dumb for me, especially on my right flank, your left flank.
Yeah.
I
was worried about that,
I
so.
totally should have held back with the knights, stayed right out of your
Two
range, and
knights?
just shot you down.
Yeah. 2 knights against that. So I got
Well,
nothing.
and then after, you know, or even before the Brock Riders, I guess. Yeah, I could have played the range game with you.
Oh yeah, I'd have to march into it.
And totally could have shot down your bulwarkers with my flame.
Oh yeah, you could have just
Why
maybe
didn't I
marched
do
out of
that?
the woods,
Because I was
double
dumb.
charge in.
Or at least
Something.
Yeah, something. Well, the double charge, I did the math hammer on that. You would have wrecked me. But still, I mean, I could have done different things, but I didn't. I was being dumb. So got too aggressive with this, and that's exactly how I lost. I don't think we played loot too much. I think that's probably the one we played less.
I haven't played much.
For some reason, I don't know why, but usually with the regular objectives, I'm not as aggressive. But I think with loot counters, because you can take them and move them.
Yeah,
I think
he was all about moving with him. He's like, I'm gonna go up there and grab him.
I got this. Ha, ha, ha. And I just didn't play my game right. I overextended myself too much. Didn't protect my one flank that's all it was on the flank. But and just you played your game great. We had some weird rolls, but you know they kind of bounced each other out.
Yeah, they did.
I had some waivers. You had a waiver. I had a really good shooting phase. One of the shooting phases I had was awesome.
It was back and forth on the dice. I don't think anybody had a high dice.
It wasn't there. I made some tactical mistakes for sure, and that cost me. It was dumb. It was just my fault.
So eager for the loot.
I just wanted the loot counter. I wanted the loot counter. Yeah. So we figured it out. 2 loot counters were his easily. The third one, who knows? Who knows? Possibly would have been yours. Who knows? Maybe I would have shot somebody down. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's at this point. It's like whatever. A loss is a loss. A win's a win. So.
Could have got all 3. I don't know. Maybe.
Definitely.
I got 2 though, for sure.
Definitely.
So that's all that matters.
So, but yeah, 18 wounds. Awesome. That was just a beat down.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting
Spheri
that.
coming in.
Spheri. I hate Spheri, and now you all know why. If you
Players
don't
of the
already.
game, Spheri and the old shield breakers.
Shield breakers with Brew of Sharpness.
Brew of Sharpness. Nonsense.
Whoever puts Brew of Sharpness on them is just a jackass.
gross.
So, yeah, good game.
Yeah,
Good list.
very
I
good
like you only set it up in like 20 minutes. That was a good
20
list.
minutes. I was like, oh man, notching the list out before he came over.
It's a good list.
You actually did pretty well. Back to the Horde style. I like the Horde style.
The hordes are just
That's
gross.
my way.
The hordes are just gross. The dwarves, you can field a lot of hordes with the dwarves because they're priced well at the horde level. So I think it works well for the army.
Yeah.
I think they're priced pretty well at
A
it.
couple troops, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
But
berserkers.
back to the Hordes. I like the Hordes.
Just gross. No way around it. So hopefully you guys like the bat rep. It's a little bit shorter. We only went to turn 5.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit shorter than some of ours that we've done. But it was good to get back in the swing of things.
Oh yeah, it's been a couple weeks, so
It was good to get back in the swing of
couple
things.
months.
I got a little aggressive. I'll have to remind myself not to do that next time.
Got some cool stuff coming now. Check it out.
We got some cool stuff
campaign
coming up.
We're talking.
It's gonna be
some
fun.
Cool stuff.